Hey guys, hello and good morning from Jason with JWClassicVW. I wanted to touch base with you guys before I get into this video. Last week was a really busy week with getting the engine together. I took it off and spent pretty much the whole week videoing and putting together my big block 2276. I'm going to release the videos one at a time, kind of like going through the process, but just to give you a heads up, there has been some interesting things that I've learned. As right now, she's running pretty good. I've got some jetting stuff that I'm waiting for it to come in, so we'll be going over a video on that, on how to jet your carburetors correctly based off the size of your engine, because that's what you do, your jetting and your air correction off the size of your engine. I also had to rebuild my carburetors, and there'll be a video coming on that too, but for now, enjoy the video and talk to you guys soon. Now you run to the car wash. We got some engine blocks we got to clean up. Burning the midnight oil. The midnight? The midnight oil. JWClassicVW. Stay tuned. The late night cleaning squad. Hey guys, Jason with JWClassicVW. We're burning the midnight oil tonight. I need to get the engine together so I can test fit the crank and the cam and figure out what my deck height needs to be, because a lot of the parts stores are closing down because of the car show this weekend. So I need to get my shim so I can get the engine together. So that's what we're working on tonight, getting that deck height figured out. So I played with blending my chambers, blending the valve seats to the actual chamber itself, and I think it turned out pretty good. It may be a little still rough, because like I said to you guys before, this is my first time doing this. I did go ahead and redo the lapping on the seats. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and go grab my cleaning stuff to make sure I clean out these guides really good. You want to make sure that when you're using the valve grinding compound, this valve grinding compound, I have a video on how to do that. You can check up here in the corner, there or there, to go to that video. But whenever you're doing it, you need to make sure that you clean up your chambers really good, because if any of that compound gets inside your bosses here, your guide boss, it's gonna jack up your stems. It will cause havoc on your stems and prematurely wear these out. So you want to make sure you clean that out good. But so here's kind of like what it looks like with the blending. You can see it blends right to the seat. Well, almost to the seat all the way around. And then here's the before. You can see the ledge. So, and some of the casting crap. But yeah, see the ledges that are here? I blended those ledges out on this side. But it does take quite a bit of time to do that head work. Pretty good. Before, after. So, still wet. There's all kinds of different things that people do whenever they're prepping their heads. I like to put a little bit of white lithium grease on my stems to just a little bit. I'm serious, like not very much at all. So let's get our tool in place. thin layer. I mean, like super thin layer of lithium, white lithium on here. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna kind of hold the valves down while you're doing this, because they'll pop up on you. Actually, I think that I need to go do it. No, let's sit it down in there, just like that, just like a cymbal. Anytime you have metal to metal contact, it's not a bad idea to have a little bit of some sort of lube there. White lithium works pretty good. These heads are opened up or drilled for little springs too. So see, just a little bit of white lithium on there. Good. Enough for other spring or inner spring. Is what I'll do is before I assemble it too, I'm gonna put a little of this Marvel's Mystery Oil on there. A little bit of lithium on the bottom. Not very much, guys. Just a little bit. And some people probably don't do. Not all people do this. I do it, but not all people do it. Good. Once it starts running and it's got oil in there, it's gonna lube up most of this anyway, but it's not a bad idea to help with initial break-in. There. All the way down. Where's my little screwdriver at? Don't stick your fingers in there, because that was no bueno. Good. Once you get the keepers in there, I'm gonna go ahead and take like a rubber hammer, you know, something that won't scar up anything. Just pop it a couple times, so make sure it's seated all the way. And it is. Look at that, guys. We got one valve back in. Hooray! Looks like solid. This one, I'm gonna drink this one. Hold on. Thirsty. Yeah, I hope this isn't water I used to CC. This one looks like it's been down here longer. So these CB heads are supposed to be around like 54 cc's. Fill this thing up to 60 and see what we have. I think it's taking some water. There we go. What's there? We're about 50 right now. Ripping it, man. Boom, right there. That's good. Yeah, 55, 54, 55 cc's. Let's get this bad boy unloaded. I finished the heads. All the porting and valves have been put back together. It's assembly time, man. Let's take our cam and clean it off some. Alright, so to get the orientation of your cam correct, your rear lobe should be facing down, and your timing mark should be up. Right. So the word is 24 to 28 foot-pounds. So we'll go 25. Got it. 25 foot-pounds. Yeah, that was super hard. So let's check the cam bearings out. These are double thrust cut, double thrust bearings, which means you have two bearings that are thrust bearings. Which means that your front bearing is completely surrounded by a double thrust by the thrust sides. So we're dry fitting everything, and I'm gonna go ahead. You can set the you should be able to set your camshaft in here dry to see how it fits. You shouldn't have to put any lube on there. It should spin freely. This is how you check it first. All I'm doing is I'm clearancing this bearing so that it'll fit better on there, and then just run it like back and forth quite a bit. Actually, you want to get a little aggressive with it. Let's see where we're sitting at now. Don't use metal hammers on your bearings. That's a no-no. Let's see if it loosened up anymore. Loosen up for us. Oh yeah. See how it moves so much easier? And actually, you see how it dropped in there? You want it to drop in easier too, like that. It's still a little tight. Still a little tight when you pop it in there. You don't want it to be. It should fall into place. We got some more to take off. But let's see how she falls in. Oh yeah, see, she fell in there. I just barely even put her in there. Way better. Put a little lube on here. Oh yeah. See, if you're using a white lithium or some sort of grease here, it would have given you a false reading. It might even let that, see, that's how you want to spin. It might even have let it spin without its clearance in it, and then you would have freaking burned up a bearing. That's how you want it. Okay, so let's test fit this bad boy. That's all the way down. And all you're checking here is that your bolts don't hit your oil pump. And we're good. Let's engage this and see what it does. Oh yeah, see that? Good. Good, good, good. So it's time to clean up the crank. I've already used some gasoline to do the majority of the cleanup on this, but I'm going to go ahead and run some of this brake cleaner on here. Just give it another scrub down. It's about the same as, I'm gonna run 1,000 over it real quick, is what you'd use to polish it. So you can do at-home polishing of your crank. Just you want to go ahead and oil it before you start running this thing over it. And all I want to do is get a little bit of shimmer on this bad boy. Yeah, it won't take much. Go ahead and put a little bit of oil on here. And then I'll take my piece of sandpaper. And then what you would do is you'd run like a shoelace on this thing. And it would look great, but I'm not trying to repolish it. I'm just trying to get the surface shined up. I got scissors around here somewhere. It's like a shoelace, but this isn't a shoelace. And like I was showing you, see how it's kind of cut to the size? This will make it go a lot faster. So you just drench it in some oil. I'm probably going to thin that out a little bit. It's a little too thick. That's for sure. Oh. You should be able to use this one piece for your entire crank. Now, if you ordered a brand new crank, you're probably not going to have to worry about this because it'll be polished. But this thing was sitting around for a while. It's kind of like probably why I got a good deal on it. It had been sitting around for a minute. Alright, so you just take your shoelace or whatever the heck you got that works, and you just cross it and just run it back and forth. Ooh. Honestly, that's probably good enough. Yeah, see. Polished. Good. Good enough. Good. But we're just removing that little bit of varnish that's on there. So it shouldn't really take that much. Center bearing in. There's no dowel pins in here yet, so just test fitting. So here we go. Get each 22mm crank. This is just set it in here and rotate it. Let's see how it fits. Bearings, please. And I just want to check the clearance. This is the first clearance check. This is before we put the rods on. And it's going to be a little bit off, because you have to think of it with end play. But it seems to be good. Not hitting anything. Ooh, not hitting anything yet. Oh, it's going to be so close. What I'm looking at is the journals on the back side, because once we get the rods on here, you got to think of that with the rod and bearing spacing on here too. But yeah, man, that moves good. And what I'm talking about with end play is, once this is on here with end play adjusted, it won't be rubbing anything that it shouldn't be rubbing. Yeah, man, it moves good. Oh, see that? So, first thing to go on is, of course, the bearing. So, when you're assembling this bearing-wise, all of your dowel pin holes face the flywheel. So, like, not like this, but like this. A leather glove is really preferable, but anything other than your bare hands, that would be a bad idea. Next is your spacer, and then your distributor drive. A distributor drive gear, timing gear for this thing. Same idea. There we go. A lot of this down there enough to get the clip on there. And this, you gotta be careful putting this clip on, because if you don't use the right tool, it can scar up the bearing surface here, and you don't want that. You can get this at any auto parts store. You see it's got some little bit of extra face on these. And this clip doesn't appear to have a up or down on it. So like so, your dowel pin down, dowel pin down. See, all these have been marked. I've already scored and marked them so that when you know where it needs to be when you set it in. So your key here, the top, wood key at the top, that's facing down. Your crank is up. This is up. The reason why I bring that up is because your rods should be facing up orientation-wise. So we're looking at our I-beam rods here. The I-beam rods facing up. You got numbers on here, so that should be facing up. So this should be facing like this. Look at the Myers book. It shows you that this is your number 3 rod. So I have my numbers facing the wrong way. Number 3, number 1, number 4, number 2. So that's how the orientation should be going off of that. So this is number 1 piston position, right? So when I'm saying the number should face up, then this should be facing up right here, right? And number 1. So it's the top of, like, we have our woodruff key facing down on the front. So that's what starts the orientation in the right direction. Alright, so WD, 3 glue these down. Alright, so here's 20 foot-pounds. Remember, final torque is 45 foot-pounds on these 3/8 this 3/8 hardware. And these aren't ARP, so I don't even know what ARP would be. Something ridiculous. 20 foot-pounds. No Loctite on these guys. No Loctite. Loctite will definitely mess up your stretch. 30 foot-pounds. Starting to stretch. Good stretching. And so there's number 3, number 1. Alright. So, number 4. And you can barely see the numbers on that one. Number 4. Whoa, crap. 4. BD. Bad boy in. Drop her in. Start figuring out some clearances. That's how you know your rods are right. If it doesn't fall over, then they're too tight. Perfect, man. Right, very good. Very good. So let's get these dowels in here. Oops. Start counting the mistakes I make, because that's when you know it's time to call it a night. Let's pop the water about there. The water about there. like. Holy crap. It's a miracle! We don't appear to have any clearance issues. Let's move it up a little bit. Let's move it up a little bit. How about it? So the other case half really didn't need much clearancing, so I'm about to drop the other case, the other half on here with, you know, no lifters, just so I can put the pistons on so we can check deck height. So that's the next step. I need to figure out where my deck height needs to be. So we are just going to torque down the case halves. Hey, come on, man. Stay up there. Okay, I thought they were gonna stay there, but sometimes you gotta pinch these things together. Come on, baby. There it goes. All right. Let's roll up it a couple times. See how it spins before we torque anything down. Right now we're just checking to see if anything's sitting right now, which nothing is sitting right now. That's a good sign. Yeah, the clearancing is... I think it's clearance for like a 86. Let's put some hardware on here. So let's take it to 25 foot-pounds first. Ooh, that's tight. Those are 5 torque on. Good. Got a little bit of a teaser for you guys. Are you ready? Thanks for tuning in again, guys. This is Jason with JWClassicVW, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, good night.